Hey everybody, it's Norm from Tesla.com here at Comic-Con 2016, and we stopped by EFX. Bryan Ono, you're the president. We love coming by your booth because you guys do an interesting job adapting helmets and props from the films to something that collectors can buy. Right. And so what do you have here that you're showing off this year?
Well, actually, this is from Captain America Civil War. We have the Black Panther helmet here. This was actually cast from one of the screen-used helmets. So it actually comes apart exactly like the original helmet.
Now, I've seen that screen-used helmet. We met at Monsterpalooza this year, Jose Fernandez of Ironhead Studios, and he talked at length about how difficult it was to fabricate that helmet. They basically did the most latest technology, designing it in 3D, printing it out, and from the printer, cleaning it up, painting it for the actor to wear. Right. You guys are doing a more traditional process. It's a cast and mold process, but
well, actually, we try to replicate exactly how the screen-used helmet was made. So at that time, I didn't know Jose had made it already, but now I do know. So actually, he shared a lot of information with me, and this is actually supposed to be a softer material, not the hard fiberglass that you see here. But at the time, we didn't know that. And there's a lot of other different materials that he's helping us with as well, like you see the eye mesh and things like that.
That whole product development is really interesting because you're trying to make something that's accessible for the collector. It's not going to be in the tens of thousands of dollars that a prop actually needs to cost for film production, right. But it still has those qualities because it's not like a one-piece helmet, for example. You said it actually comes apart, right. And it comes together with magnets and straps.
Right. That's exactly the way the screen-used helmet was made as well, with magnets. So we try to replicate it exactly the same way that it was made. And so, unfortunately, I hate to say unfortunately, but it's true, is that all these helmets are custom made to each one of the actors. So it may not fit you, it may fit you, because it's only one size. And usually the helmets are sized slightly smaller, so it doesn't wobble as when they film.
Now, you're not 3D printing it, but you guys are casting it and finishing it. How do you try to get that finish the same? Do you then go through like a bunch of different resins and say you want to have a good base that looks like that 3D printed part, and then do a paint job that looks like that finished one?
Right, actually that's what we do. We look at the original materials, and if it's not possible with the process we're doing, we try to find another material that has the same qualities of the original materials.
And then what other, is it just one type of resin you're using here? Is there a lot of mixed media? What's going on with the helmet?
This will be actually mixed media, only from a quality standpoint as well. So if it doesn't affect the appearance of the helmet and it's not one of the major parts of the helmet, we might injection mold it, because just structurally it would be more sound. For example, this area here is actually a mesh, so you can actually push it in probably, and if you push it in, that might damage the helmet. So we might injection mold something like that.
How far along is this helmet in development, and when can people look forward to buying it?
Well, actually, we just finished this prototype 2 days ago.
Wow.
Yeah, 2 days ago. So we are probably going to work on the production sample of it with the factory starting sometime later this summer.
Okay, great. And I know you guys have a lot of other props on display here. Can we go check those out as well?
Sure.
All right, Bryan, interesting props here. There are weapons from Suicide Squad, Harley Quinn's iconic weapons.
Right.
And let's start with the one in the front here, because I saw this and I asked, oh, is this like a cast piece or is it a bat? And it turns out it's a real bat.
It's a real bat. It's actually a 33-inch baseball bat.
Oh, which is what they use for production.
Which is what they use for production.
And is the goal when you manufacture this that you're going to start with the core as a bat, or
right.
And then
be a wood bat, just like this one.
Then how do you go about then weathering it and having like a consistent paint job so it looks like that prop?
Well, the wood part is wood,
right.
So that's no problem. The biggest challenge is going to be putting this poem on here. So what we've actually did is laser cut a template, and probably someone is actually going to take a Sharpie and follow the template, like a stencil,
right.
And follow the thing, so we get the entire poem just like the original prop.
And you have those source files where you know exactly how those layers, because it's multiple colors on top, it's almost like screen printing except on a bat.
Right, it was actually scanned and we laid it out flat, and then we digitally laser cut a template, a stencil out. And so the person who made this prototype actually took a Sharpie and just followed like a stencil.
Wow. And then you, again, it looks handmade, because that's the idea, right?
Right.
And then all the way to mixed medias, and this is like real cloth that you're going to wrap around as well?
And weathered.
And weather it as well.
Right.
And then moving backward, the mallet here, that's a different process because then this is fake wood. This is a cast piece.
Well, actually, the original prop was wood.
Ah, okay.
It was actually wood. We only had the prop for a few days to borrow because the actual original prop is actually on display at the Warner Brothers tour. So Margot Robbie used it for a photo shoot for the ESPY Awards a few weeks ago. So they actually took it out of the exhibit, and we were able to get access to it then when it was out of the exhibit. So we actually cast the original mallet, and that's how we got this. And this is actually made in fiberglass, but we're hoping to make the final product in wood, just like the original.
How would you go about that? Would you be a milling process?
Well, like for example, all these dents on the side will probably be stamped in.
Okay.
Okay. How we chip it, trying to work.
That's something you're still figuring out. Yeah, that's
And
again
so-
part of product development.
Right. And the actual prop, this is actually a real mallet. So inside the original prop is the mallet head, and they just put the wood around it. So this is really heavy. And so I was actually able to do some research, and we found out exactly what the handle was. And the mallet you can purchase on Amazon.
Really? Well, for prop makers out there, that's a good piece of information.
So if you want the actual handle, it's available on Amazon.
You're going to share what handle that is?
No.
So as a licensee, like, it's surprising to me that you only get a few days, very rare a time with the original props, and then you have to source not only the physical information, but all the aesthetic information as well.
Right.
It's not like Warner Brothers is going to give you everything you need.
Well, actually, we've been doing this for so long. I mean, if you go all the way back to Master Replica days, I've been doing this for 14 years. Yeah. So we're very fortunate that all the archives are very cooperative with us. We know what we're doing. We're not going to harm the prop. So we would get a prop for anywhere from a few days to 2 to 3 weeks. Right. Depending on their use, because props have become such a big thing, especially before the opening of a movie. So, they go on tour now, and for the world premiere, they have the original props and things like that. So, but like I said, we're very fortunate that we get access to the original prop and have the ability to replicate the prop exactly by molding, or we try to minimize the scanning because we actually prefer to go to the actual prop and cast it because it can give us more accurate.
That physical data, you're just never going to as fine, and it's a proven process, been done for so long.
Right.
And it's also different, interesting and different from film to film as well. Whether a film that's just out of production, a film that's out of production a couple of years, or even an archival from old film like Back to the Future that you guys are doing a prop from,
right.
To source that, it's a lot of the same techniques that people out there, replica prop builders out there use
right.
in building their replicas.
Right. Well, actually, they changed from film to film, I think, because it sells more prop, to be honest. But which is cool, because that keeps us in business as well. Yeah. So a lot of the props you'll see from film to film will be very, very minor. But as these other films like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or even with Justice League and everything, they're going to be more. I think they're going to be more consistent in the props because there's a carryover from film to film to film. So there has to be some consistency in the prop as well.
It's great to see you here at Comic-Con, Bryan, and you guys make great work. I can't wait to see these actually hit collectors.
Yeah,
Thanks.